Hello everyone, it's Sam McDonough, IFBB Bikini Pro, and I am back with another video. And I have my life update. My life is back in order. I am back in a routine. And I talked to my teacher and I was like, Megan, can I ask you a question? I was like, do you have time for me to ask you a question? And I was like, okay, so I make these videos on YouTube and it's about bodybuilding shows, and I just break down what happened in the bodybuilding show, like who won, why they won against somebody else, what they can do to improve. And now I'm paranoid that maybe I shouldn't be doing that if I'm gonna be a therapist eventually. And she was like, no, you definitely should not give up your passion. You should definitely keep doing that, and I think it's cool. And I'm like, okay, well, the teacher's pet at me does love that you think it's cool. So I guess I'll continue. And I also have thought more about how I wasn't going to do preview videos anymore. But then when these results came out for the show, and I didn't even mention that Hope was competing, I was like, what the have I been doing? Because my predictions were way off, because I was not able to give the preview as much thought as I would have usually. So you know what, I'm back to doing preview videos too. So we're gonna start with a recap, and then if it's long, then I'll do a preview separately, or if it's not long, which let's be real, it probably will be, then I'll do it in the same video. So let's first recap. We're gonna start with Florida because that's what I'm most excited about. So Florida, I said it was gonna be what? Okay, no, sorry. I said it was going to be Tamikia, Nade. I think I meant to put... Okay, looking back at this, you can tell me because I'm not going to go watch my video. I don't think I meant to put Tamikia first. I think if I did, it was hopeful because I really liked Tamikia and I was really hoping she would like pull it all together to qualify. You know what? I probably did mean Tamikia first. I'm obsessed with Tamikia. But like history, I don't know, tells me that she would like be in first. Actually, no. I think it's because Christabelina's waist width was sticking out to me a little bit. So I thought, yeah, okay, so I said it was going to be Tamikia, Nade, Christabelina, Ellie, and Kirsty. What actually ended up happening at Florida? So, what actually ended up happening is Christabelina won, Hope got second, Brittany Hamilton got third. I was right about Ellie, but that's literally the only one I was right about. And Nade was in fifth. So, of the top five, I predicted three of them. I was not convinced that Brittany would be able to bring the balance needed to do so well at a show. Just because usually her shoulders are a little bit overpowering, but she came in looking really, I mean, she always looks great. She's always very impressive. I just didn't know if she would like meet the criteria. So yeah, she looked great. Excited to see her in the top five again. That must feel really good, especially after the season she had last season and then the first show she had this season. And then Christy did not make top five, but was Christy even competing at this show? Because I don't see a Christy. So, like, what was I thinking with my predictions? Okay, just making sure. Oh, Christy, okay, yeah, there she is. Okay, my bad. Okay, and then I'll just say my predictions for Italy since I have my predictions up. So, Italy, I didn't really know what was going to go down, but I did see the Moria photo. So I'll just pull up Moria because you guys probably know who he is, but if you don't, I'll pull him up. It's a photographer. He does a lot of the European shows. I saw his little post of all of the bikini competitors, not all, but like a lot of bikini competitors. And there was one person who really stood out to me, and I recognized her, but I didn't know her name. And then I was like, oh, she's got to be winning this. Like, she looks incredible. And then she did. So I didn't have like a real, okay, was it him? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Okay. So here it was. So that's who won. Spoiler. Oh, God. I zoomed in. I didn't even know I could zoom in that way, to be honest. So where is the photo I'm talking about? Wasn't that? That's wellness. You guys, here I am thinking I'm prepared. I have actual side-by-sides made. And, oh, here it is. This photo. I looked at her and I was like, oh my God. Like, that is just the conditioning. Like, the shape, the conditioning, she was blowing me away. And I was like, whoever this is, gotta be winning the show. And then Sarah looked a little bit hard. Rhonda looked a little bit hard. So yeah, let's get into it. So let's start with Florida. Okay, so I have Florida up right here. So as you see, I made little side by sides when I went on a walk. So it was Christabelina, and then who got second? Hope. That's Brittany though. Okay, so here is Hope. So I'm gonna pull them up. Okay. That's not Hope. This is Hope. Here she is. Okay. So let's break down these physiques. Okay. So starting with Christabelina. Christabelina's waist is honestly just reminding me of Carrie Sexton's waist. It's just gonna be thicker than other competitors. Proportionally, it works. For both of them, it works proportionally. I do just typically not see people winning bikini shows with like such muscular waists. So I think it throws me a little bit to see her in the winning spot, even though like I really like Christabelina's look. And the upper body like looks really full. It doesn't look overly jacked like I thought it did last week. And the legs look like they're more in balance. It looks like glute up, perfect balance. Down from the glute, the legs just don't really have much size. They just look a little bit sucked down compared to the rest of her. So that is something that throws me off. Oh, and there was a show in Hong Kong. Okay, there was a show in Hong Kong. How did that one end up going? Okay, because I see my prediction list and I have 3 shows written down. So, okay, Masters Worlds, Alina Popa, Florida, Heart of Texas. Okay, here it is. Oh, duh, it's the first one. So the results were, I said it was going to be Lee and then Wenjin. And yeah, Lee won. Wenjin got lower. She got 14th. So yeah, I don't know if there are photos up for this show yet, though. Let's see. Okay, search competitor. This is all over the place, but nobody's surprised. Okay, so I don't think the photos for this show are up yet. Let me look up another person. Sometimes I worry that, because they do, like, occasionally misspell people's names. So I'm like, maybe just they aren't showing up because the name was misspelled. Okay, we'll try one more time. I'm assuming photos just haven't posted for this show yet. Okay, so, yeah. Okay, so they're not up. That's fine. I wish they were, but they're not. That's fine. Okay, so, reset. Let's get into it. So, Christabelina just looks a little bit imbalanced from bottom, like below glute, to the rest of her physique because it just doesn't have as much muscle as the rest of her. Like the quad looks like a straight line, whereas you see Hope's has a little bit of shape to it. Not saying you have to have a bunch of shape and size in your quads. Usually you don't, but it is just a discrepancy to me. And then the front pose, I would like her to straighten her arm. When you round it like this, it looks kind of like a figure competitor. The suit, I don't love the suit just because it looks like speckled with the stones. I think the shape of it is also throwing me off, like the shape of the cup. So something, I think it's just the cup style. But her tan looks great. Her hair and makeup look great. I would like her to drop her hand more right here, but I think I said this last week that sometimes if you do have a thicker waist, it might not hurt to put your hand there. But yeah, I would like to see what it looks like right here. So yeah, but the conditioning looks really good. The amount of muscle top to bottom is throwing me off a little bit. Like, I will be honest, in the front pose, because I don't really see much shape on the quad here. Or, yeah, it throws me off, really, to be honest. So, yeah, that's kind of all I have to say there. Back pose, glutes look incredible. Hamstrings also look incredible. I think hamstrings and quads could have a little more size on them, but her glute density would also need to come up because they're in perfect balance with her legs in the back pose. I would argue that that's not the case in the front pose. As you see me trying to make sense of everything right here in front of you. The cut of the suit, I think, really works for her. It could have a little more coverage right here to really round out the glutes, but the shape of her glutes are what's working most. Like, she's kind of winning in spite of the suit itself, if you ask me. And I think I'm being a little bit harsh about the suit. There's just something about it that is, looks like speckled with the stones, and the shape of the cup, it just looks a little wonky. So, yeah, but at the same time, she also has a lot of width in her torso, so she needs more coverage to be pulled in here, which it is, and maybe a cup that went like this would be too much coverage. So maybe the shape is right. I am just thrown off a little bit, but the conditioning in the back pose especially is spot on. She looks really good. Maybe a little bit tight in these hamstrings, but you do see the full muscle belly. I'm less concerned when she's tight here as opposed to being tight down the center of the hamstring, like you'll see a lot of competitors when they are just coming too hard. So I would like to see more density in her glutes. I think the reason she isn't as big in her legs is because she only has enough glute to give the illusion that they want with the amount of muscle she has currently. If she grew her legs, then her glutes might look like they're lagging behind. But because it is the way it is, it does look like that leg is tapering down. So in the back pose, I think it's really good. In the front pose, I want to see more fullness. So where does she beat Hope? I think she has a much better glute profile than Hope. Hope just needs a little more glute density, so she really gets that projection and pop in the front pose and that depth in the back pose. She has a lot of like fullness in the glutes right now. She's like really pushed the fullness in the glutes. Well, maybe they could be a little bit fuller, but what I mean is like you don't see any striations or anything cutting down the glutes, so that's good. They look really full and like they're glowing, so they look great. What I am seeing on Hope is that she just doesn't have as great of shape in the front pose as Kristapalina, and her arms look a little bit tight. I would like to, specifically the vein right here, and then the striations you're seeing in this back shoulder. So I don't know if she'd be able to even relax her hand a little bit. I don't know if she's like kind of flexing her arm unintentionally and it's making the striations pop. But also, when you get show lean, then you don't even have to be pushing into the muscle that hard for the striations to show. So maybe she could have been a little bit fuller at this show. However, would that have messed up her? Would that be at the expense of like her shape? I'm not sure. The back pose I think looks really good. The only thing that is sticking out to me negatively is how dug in she is in the hamstring here. So I think Kristapalina's conditioning, not edged out Hope here. But I think the back pose looks really good. The upper body, the hair I would like to see off of the shoulder, but then maybe she would look like even more tight in the shoulder. So it's probably a good thing that the hair is there. So yeah, I feel like I'm all over the place, but you guys, it's just who I am. It's just who I am, and I need to accept that about myself. So third place, we have Brittany Hamilton. And then fourth place was Ellie Fernandez, and then fifth place was Nade. So Nade did share her feedback, and her feedback was that she needs a little bit more muscle in her core, which apparently she's been working on. It's good for her, and that she needs better core control, I think is what she said. And I think she said her tan was messed up too, which threw her off. Tan doesn't look messed up in photos, so that's where you just have to take her word for it. I'm not at these shows in person, so I don't actually know how it looked. I'm just going off of photos, because that's the best I can do. So, okay. Brittany Hamilton. This, I think, is the best Brittany Hamilton has ever looked. She looks really, 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 really good. Really good. Like, I am about it. Her hourglass shape looks crazy. Her waist is crazy tight. One of the giveaways to how tight her waist is she's kind of pushing on the skin here, which is making it kind of like that crepey look. She's just like sucked all the way down. There's like no extra layer of water on her. She looks phenomenal. So yeah, I think her conditioning is spot on. She's really played down the amount of muscularity she has in her upper body. If I didn't know how Brittany Hamilton looked in the past, then I would never know that she was pretty like super jacked in the upper body in the past. So like just to pull her up, I'll show you what I mean. I should have just left to show photos up, you guys, which I didn't do. So here is what I'm talking about with Brittany Hamilton in the past. So in the past, she was really jacked in the upper body, and it was pretty overpowering. So here is an example of that. I think they were definitely trying to balance out at that point. But let's look like here. I don't know. Let's see. And the way she posed with being more straight on to the judges in the upper body. She's not fully posed here, but she's showing less width in her upper body now, which helps to play it down. So yeah, I don't even know if I'll be able to find a picture. Oh yeah. Okay. So like really grainy in the upper body. So yeah, I just think this is like the best she's ever looked, and I'm very happy for her. Love the way she's posing, covering up that back shoulder with her hair a little bit. That plays down how wide she is in her upper body, without her having to turn super narrow in her front pose. I think at her last show too, let's pull that up. So here she was. Okay, so at her last show, I think she was even more profile than she was at this show. Sorry, I'm just supposed to be talking about like why I think people placed the way they did, but instead I'm doing a full retrospective on the different ways Brittany Hamilton has looked in the past. But since I have it up, she turned really profile at this show, which took away a lot of her shoulder width, which I thought was a good move, just based on previous feedback she had. But it looks like now she's found a happy medium between these two, and this is really closer to her original pose than it was this. But yeah, all I'm saying is it really worked for her. So yeah, that's what I think there. The suit color I think also works. The back pose, not usually an issue for Brittany, like full hamstrings that match her glutes look super full. Her only issue from the back is that she genetically has a wider waist than some of the other competitors from the back, but she did a good job getting a lot of taper because she's added so much onto her upper outer glutes. So yeah, she just completely nailed it. I would like to see all her hair on her back, and maybe it is, I can't tell because her hair is pretty similar to the background color, but yeah, so I think she looked great. Why do I think she beat Ellie? I think she just had more extreme proportions, and I think she has more upper outer glute than Ellie does. And Brittany doesn't even have a ton of upper outer glute, but she does just look rounder in the glute than Ellie does. Her legs almost look a little bit sucked down here in the front pose. In the back, they look really good. She typically comes in a little bit too tight in the hamstrings. But yeah, I think that's the issue. I think Ellie is just too tight, and Brittany brought the conditioning that they want. Ellie's hair, makeup, and suit, though, stunning. She looks incredible. So Naday, why do I think Naday placed 5th? Her back pose to me is usually first place. Like, she has an incredible striking back pose. Like, she looks amazing. She could slide her hands in on her legs a little bit. I think this looks a little bit, almost too relaxed. I mean, she doesn't even have to really pose to look. I mean, you want to look like you're standing there, but the hands just make it look a little bit too relaxed. I think she would have better shape if she slid those in a little bit, but I like the angle of her elbows a lot. She's totally nailed it there. In the past, she's come in with very pointy elbows, so I will show you what I mean by that. Give me a moment. Here she is. Okay. So where's her back pose? What's going on? Does she hit her back pose and they just don't get it? No, it must be on a different page, but I've already moved on to a different show. So elbows, they were more pointy at this show. She's really gone under control. Let me see if it's happening at this show. Yeah, I mean, a little extreme there. So she straightened her arms more, but you can still see her hands. So yeah, that's what I would like to see from her. Straighter arms. Sorry. Hands moved in. The straight arms look good. And then the hair, I think you could run a brush through it so you don't see like the barrel curls. The suit color I think is good. It's not my absolute favorite on her, but it is good. What is my favorite on her? I like when she wears... Why do I keep exiting this out, you guys? I keep thinking I'm done. I even thought to myself, don't exit out, but I was like, no, I'm going to because I'm already talking about the person who's in 5th place. I don't have anything else to pull up. Yeah, I like this green. I like this green a lot. I don't like it's not big enough for her, but I like the color. And do I like another color? I mean, the blue looks good. It's just not like what I'm obsessed with. I'm usually just not like obsessed with the royal blue, to be honest. This I think is like almost a chalky light blue, so I don't love that. What'd you wear to the Olympia? Red. I mean, I also like red on her. So yeah, red and green. Those are my 2 for Naday, and I really don't need to pull up any more pictures. So yeah, back pose nailed. Front pose getting better and better. She is sloping off in this back shoulder here, so I would like those shoulders to be level. Because it also drags down her chest when she's like tilted down like that. So yeah, her pose getting better and better though. she could bring this arm in tighter, but I think one of the reasons it's sticking out is because she sloped down in the back. So another thing I'm seeing is, and you'll also notice she wears pretty short heels because she's tall and she has long legs, so she's trying to offset like how long her legs are by wearing shorter heels. But one thing you'll see is her foot is lifted up right here. I want that part to be down on the ground. So like that instead of like that. Because then it would bring her knee pointing at the judges just slightly, which would bring her legs onto the same plane. So they'd look like the same size. Right now, this leg looks less developed to me because it's not on the same plane as this leg. So if she just tilted that forward, that would bring her all into the same plane. And then same thing, if she stood up taller, then this would bring like her upper body onto the same plane too. I mean, her upper body is on the, mainly for the legs. I don't know. There's something going on that's making this arm look skinny, and I think it's because of how hard she's cranking the elbow around. So yeah, that's messing with me, but really, really great. And she should be very proud of this look. She looks really good. Okay, so now let's move on to Italy. So, okay, here's Cristobalina. I'm going to X these out. Okay, so, let's get into our winner. So, Patrizia, Rania, I believe, was in third, and then Sarah was in second. So, let's look at this. And I feel like I need to double check that because I'm not positive that that's true, but I think it is. Okay, so what do I think about Patrizia? I've already said that I think her conditioning was spot on. Really full. You don't see much graininess. You see a little bit of a vein in her shoulder, but like you saw that with most of the other people who did well. So when I point that out, I just mean she's. Oh, sorry, it wasn't Patrizia. It wasn't Sarah. It was Carrie. Carrie got in second. So glad I checked. Okay, so yeah, the difference would be like looking grainy. So you see like a graininess to the skin rather than just like a vein sticking out here or there. So Patrizia was already Olympia qualified, and Carrie is also Olympia qualified. So is Sarah. Rania is the only one in this top 3 that's not Olympia qualified. But Patrizia looks great. Really, really full. I would like to see a better cut on her bottoms. I would like to see more coverage right here. Because it just makes the glutes look kind of like oddly shaped. I think the front pose is really good. Are there things I would change? Yeah. I mean, I would try moving the hand right here. She has a crazy tiny waist, so I would want to show that off more by moving the hand right here. She could straighten the arm so the bicep doesn't look too jacked, which can also make the shoulder look a little bit jacked the way it's bent. She could maybe have a little bit of a bend in, or just bring this foot more like right here instead of all the way out here and let the knee drift at me a little bit, but those are very minor things. The hair I think could look a little more glam. I think there's something about the middle part that is looking less glam to me, or like the fact that this looks like it has a little bit of a wave to it. The arms are really, really straight. I'd like to see a little bit more pointing, not as much as Carrie's, but a little bit more. Because I think it narrows the shoulders, making them look not as wide as the lower body, or at least not as full, because her glutes look crazy, crazy full. So yeah, I would like to see a little bit of a bend pointed at the judges, not out. So yeah, the hair length is perfect. It shows how her waist tapers into a super tiny waist. She looks a little bit more bound up on this side, like she's scrunched more, and I think that's because that's the side she poses on, so typically that is more scrunched for competitors if they don't practice posing on both sides, which I know sucks, but you have to do it. So yeah, that's what I think, but looks really good. The arms could be a little bit fuller in this back pose, but I think it's how straight they are that's like taking away from me, and I would like to see a different cut. So why do I think she beat Carrie? I think her hourglass shape and the conditioning she brought is just what they're looking for, and Carrie didn't have that same kind of fullness. So Carrie, again, with the dark suit, I would like to see something more saturated so it doesn't emphasize like how hard she usually is, and like I think it's kind of harsh with the dark hair, but she looks absolutely beautiful. I think her hourglass shape is great. She looks like she got a little bit stringy in the arms, which is not typical for her. So I kind of have questions about that. Let me pull this up because I want to see, is that like, how much fullness does she usually have in her upper body? And now I'm just kind of saying not things that I think she's like doing wrong, but just things I would like to see with her going into the Olympia. Because like I think it's you can see why Patrizia won, but what look would I like to see for Carrie when she goes to the Olympia? Yeah, her arms just are not that developed. I think that's what it is, because her arms do look a little bit thin there too. So I might add a little more, like, I don't know. I would first try straightening the arms before I add any more size onto the arms, because she does have that really nice taper going into the, like elbow. So yeah, I would just straighten the arms, see how that looks. And then if the arms look skinny compared to everything else, I would bring up the arms like ever so slightly. Not anything crazy at all, like ever so slightly. Because they just look a little skinny compared to the legs. Legs look super full, like they're crazy. She's also a little bit tighter in this hamstring than Patrizia. So yeah, those are the things I would change for the Olympia. Softer suit and elbows in the back pose. Okay. And then we have, okay, now this is right? Sarah got third. Okay, yeah, Sarah got third, and then Rania got fourth. So, what do I think? Okay, I think that, did I say someone was the only one of the top three? Rania is the only one of the top four who's not Olympia qualified. That's what I meant. Love Sarah's suit. Honestly, Sarah can do no wrong with her suits. Like, she looks good in every color I've seen her wear. So, like, for instance, I think she qualified for the Olympia. I don't know if her Olympia qualification photos are actually posted. But she qualified for the Olympia, I think wearing a light blue. Oh, that's Carrie again. Okay, so we're looking up Sarah Punzetti. Here she is. Okay. So, yeah, I love Sarah's look. I think she just went pro last year. Or was it? Okay, I guess it was 2 years ago. Yeah. Okay, so she went pro. And then she qualified in her rookie season for the Olympia. And she got second, like, multiple times. And I think she got first place more than just one time. But that show did not have photos posted. So, yeah, this is the suit. I know I just say I don't like royal blue. I really like this color on her. So, I would probably wear that to the Olympia if I were her. And I think this suit works. The hair is a little bit too long. It's covering her glutes. And I would also get it off of the shoulders in the front and the back poses, because it just looks a little bit messy. I would also like to see what happens if she cranks her hips around a little bit. Like, okay, I'm wearing sweatpants. You won't be able to see really. But right now, yeah, you won't be able to see. She's like this. I would like to see if she like cranked around to show that fullness in the glutes. Because right now it just looks kind of like a straight line. So I think that's an easy posing thing. She could just try out. Maybe it doesn't work. I'm sure she's tried other things. The root to hair color does throw me off. I would soften that up before the Olympia. This color is just a little bit harsh for stage, even this stage. I was going to say the Olympia stage, but any stage, really. So, yeah, but her fullness is really good. I think that I would like to see more size in the hamstrings over time, more size in the upper outer glutes. I can't tell because her hair is covering it, but I want to see what happens if she covers, like, right here of her glutes. Maybe that would shape them better, because I'm not seeing much of that, like, V at the top of the bottoms. But, yeah, why do I think Carrie beat her? I think Carrie's package is just a little more complete than Sarah's. Like, I can't really see much hamstring. She's a little bit harder in the shoulder here than Carrie was. So yeah, I think Carrie's polish overall was just a little bit better. And then we have Rania. She got fourth place. So I think Sarah beat Rania because Sarah's fullness, I think, again, her package is a little more complete than Rania's. So Rania, I would like to see a little more size in the shoulders. Glute in the front looks beautiful, very full, very round. She always looks hunched over a little bit, so if she could just stand nice and tall, I think what issue she's running into is she's arching so much to get this fullness in the glute that she's letting it push her torso forward. You guys know my nose is always so dry. Okay, so she's letting it push her torso forward, which is kind of like shrinking down her midsection but making it wider. So yeah, she could also take her hand off of her waist and put it like on the connector. I would like that. Hair's a little bit long for the back. Yeah, she just doesn't look as comfortable in this front pose as the top 3 did. I would like to see long-term more upper outer glute. She's consistently in these like 3 to 6 positions. So I would just like to see her. She's often in 4th. So I would like to see her make those changes, put on some size in these glutes and a little bit in the shoulders, because the shoulder looks like the same width as the arm, and then see what happens. See if that can get her in a 1st place or a 2nd place. I think she's gone 2nd place before. And then in 5th place, we have Elizabeth. So Elizabeth, I do just prefer the darker hair. I think it pops better on her. Yeah, she looks very confident, very excited to be on stage. That's a great quality to have on stage. Right now, it's just looking like parts cobbled together and less streamlined. What I want from Elizabeth is just more streamlining. And what I mean by that is like the things that are standing out are like the quads are taking attention away from the glutes. I'm not seeing much roundness in the glute here. I think if she arched her low back in the front pose, then we would get more roundness to the glutes, but it would still probably be outshined by the quads. Hamstring also looks really round and full. It looks great, but we're just lagging in the glutes. And then the tricep and bicep are overpowering the shoulder for me. It like tapers into the shoulder rather than shoulder into the arm. So I would like to see that changed. Run a brush through the hair so it's not such ringlety curls. And I would want to cover the back a little more because it's looking like figurey with the amount of width she's getting. I think she's doing the right thing, like spreading her lats a bit so she gets like taper into her waist. But I kind of want to see the back covered so you don't see how tight it is compared to everything else. And more size on the upper outer glutes. So I think she, just needs to streamline the muscle a little bit more. I know she does powerlifting, and I think it's just sadly one of those situations where you can't truly be super successful at both. I mean, she is successful. She's getting like 4th place or 5th place. She got 4th place earlier this season. But yeah, I think she would need to kind of choose one, unfortunately, or like reprogram powerlifting a little bit. And so she could like have more emphasis on her glutes on other days. So I know, cut down on powerlifting, add more glutes. I know. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But great look, hair and makeup, look very pretty. Okay, I'm gonna make a separate video for previews. Bye.